I love that move. This is a crazy way to start the video.
Alright, so boom. As we all know, the legendary, immortal, although he's not necessarily immortal anymore since he's since passed away, Hulk Hogan passed away yesterday at 71 years old. And let me first address the elephant in the room. Hulk Hogan had his outstandings. There's no denying that. We heard that secretly recorded tape in 2007 laced with racist remarks.
So there's a point where I was fucking black and son, would have been hanging out, I thought holding hands together on Twitter, get close to the fight before I'm okay. I'm not a double standard kind of guy, I'm a racist to a point. Yeah. You know, from years, but then when it comes to fighting people, we all are that way. Yeah, like when it comes to fighting people, you can't say, I don't give a fuck, she's already got it, I'm going to football, I'm going to go basketball player, to have a game. If we're going to talk to centers, let's get the rich on the
that ultimately got released in 2015 that led to his subsequent release from WWE and then ultimately getting wiped from everything WWE for a temporary period of time. Like I remember on the Hall of Fame, you couldn't find him there. On the WWE network, if you searched Hulk Hogan, it would say like,
I'm gonna just let him cook before I give my opinion. I'm letting him cook right now. Keep going.
Like nothing found, but his segments were still on there, but he essentially got like the Benoit treatment, but that's not obviously the same thing, but you get what it is that I'm saying here, right? And Hulk Hogan had his outstandings. But with all that being said, here's something that I just cannot wrap my mind around. Yes, you are entitled to feel however it is that you feel about him. You do not, under any circumstance, have to feel bad about his passing. However, I think it's very, very, very odd that there is a large percentage of the populace who consume, whether it be wrestling or anything in pop culture, who felt the need to go and police how people are supposed to feel about him. You got friends, family, co-workers, fans paying their respects to Hulk Hogan. And in the comment sections, in the tweet threads, whatever the case is, people are attacking them for paying their respects. That makes absolutely no sense to me.
Okay, I agree. You can't police how people feel about an individual, no matter how you feel about them yourselves. Me, I said it in my initial thoughts that I'm not mourning him. I don't feel anything. It was more just he actually passed. Huh. I also can recognize that if it wasn't for him, I probably would not have his channel or be a wrestling fan. But still, like, I'm not going to police, like, people appreciating him no matter what Hulk Hogan has done, because again, he is the epitome of what professional wrestling, sports entertainment became. We all have to give him his appreciation in regards to that. But to, anybody that is giving him his flowers, and to the black wrestlers that's giving him his flowers and just giving him all praise, I get people being pissed off about that, but at the same time, they're like, I let them live. It is what it is. Like, what you eat don't make me shit. Where's the love? Shout out to Heart of the City, Blueprint 1. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't feel no ways. However, that only tells one side of the story. But I'm going to let him cook before I continue.
It's one thing to sit over here and celebrate, somebody's passing, which is still insane because we're all going to have to face the music at one point.
When Trump goes, best believe we doing a cookout that day. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Regardless, right? So it's still crazy to me that somebody would celebrate somebody's death. But to go along the lines of going and attacking people for paying their respects is crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Nah. Because again, you can feel how you feel about him. You don't need to say anything, or if you're like, I don't really care too much about his passing, cool. You want to get your jokes off? All right, because let's call it what it is. There was some funny tweets that were shared. People had a tweet of like a video vignette from Hogan falling or whatever the case, like, oh, this is Hogan entering the afterlife. Or they have other ones that said, oh, Hogan, they chose to have Hogan cremated because he didn't want to be laying, he refused to be buried and stuff like that. They had jokes
that was
for days.
That was the one that got me. There was some great jokes let off. I'm just putting. I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying there was some great jokes I got.
hilarious jokes or whatever the case was, right? And that's all well and cool. But there are some folks who literally spent the bulk share of yesterday attacking people for paying their respects. If you happen to be a black wrestler or executive or anything of that nature that shared, your sadness for the passing of Hogan, people was underneath your comment section sharing photos of Samuel L. Jackson's character in Django. I forget the name of the character. I want to say Steven, but I could be wrong. So somebody let me know in the comment section, fact check me on that. And then they were sharing gifts of like Uncle Ruckus and stuff. I'm like, bro, you mean to tell me that if somebody who's unaware of the tapes, or you're aware of the tapes, you can't take away the feeling that you had got, whether you had been a child or maybe a young adult when Hogan was in his heyday? Because the one thing that I don't quite wrap my mind around, even further, I can't even say the one thing, it's another thing that I can't wrap my mind around, is the revisionist history of what people have been tweeting. They're making it seem as if Hogan is not a Mount Rushmore professional wrestler in the industry. Hogan was amongst the biggest stars. WWF ultimately doesn't become WWE, and it doesn't survive without Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, like we know that. Like, yeah, like there's not one human being alive that is a wrestling fan that doesn't know that. We know that. Like I said it in my controversial Austin is the most overrated wrestler video, that no matter what you say, Hogan is the biggest star of all time. Bar none. Hands down. No, straight up, no chaser. Like you can't take that away from him. You can't. However, what you do in life, I think John Pollock said it. Shout out to John Pollock, his podcast. Life is an audition for how you will be remembered. So as much as you were great in terms of the job, what you did, you didn't like to do jobs, but in terms of your job, does not supersede how you treated people. And even within wrestling, there's a laundry list of things Hogan did to where he treated people poorly. Hands down, you cannot erase that. I don't care about him slamming Andre the Giant. I don't care about him creating the NWO. Like, some people just cannot forget that. And I don't care how much you entertain, it does not supersede all the bad you have done. So that's also a thing as well. But continue.
I said this back in January or February when Cena had turned heel. I think it was maybe March 1st, whenever the Elimination Chamber just so happened to be. When Cena turned heel, I went on the record and said this is the greatest heel turn in WWE history. But Hogan's heel turn is the greatest heel turn in the history of professional wrestling.
I agree.
Period. And furthermore, you can't make it seem as if Hogan wasn't cool.
But also, the heel turn worked because he was getting booed. But, okay, because people get tired of his shtick. But go ahead.
When Hulkamania was at its heyday, eat your vitamins, say your prayers, albeit the man was, cheating, doing the steroids behind, closed doors. But all that being said, Hogan was still a complete phenomenon. He was the first wrestler to really break into pop culture, the mainstream, and took wrestling to heights that nobody had saw up until that point, until maybe you got Stone Cold. So let's not make it seem as if Hogan wasn't cool. The NWO, although the machismo and the swagger could have came by way of Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, because they were ultimately cool as well.
Oh no, all the cool was from them two, especially Scott Hall. Let's not get that twisted. Like, Hogan stole a lot of slang from them, which they stole from us, but that's a whole nother story for another day.
But let's call a spade a spade. When you were a kid or you were a young adult, depending on how old you were when Hogan was in his heyday, WCW, part of the NWO, you were probably spray painting your championship replica as well, or if you had a toy belt or something like that. Everybody was doing the full life and everything. Let's not make it seem as if Hogan wasn't cool, bro. Like, it's weird how people just want to go and rewrite history just because they don't like somebody. And again, I'm not sitting here defending Hogan. The way I feel about Hogan is the moment that I heard the tape, I'm like, you know what? Man's not a cool person. Okay, cool. You may not be a great human being. That doesn't take away from what it was that you done did in the wrestling ring. Because yes, I understand there's a lot of controversy from separating the art from the artist. But again, let's be transparent.
Again, that's just one thing. Like, if you're just referring to the tape, that's one thing. there are a multitude of things from him stopping, from Jesse Ventura creating a union, from him sabotaging a multitude of careers, from him being part of the reason why the WCW no longer was a thing. Him, Bischoff, and Russo had a great job of tearing down that company. TNA back in 2010 ruined that for a lot of people. Like, he's done a lot of bad things. A lot of bad things. Not just one thing. There's a laundry list of things, like I said. So, they just got to make sure. Again, it's not just one thing. Shout out to A. Marie. She made an interesting comeback, by the way, but go ahead. Tiny Desk was not it, but go ahead.
There's probably a number of people who are out there, even some of you who may be watching this video right now. Your favorite wrestlers, stars, whatever the case may be in entertainment or anything that you look up to, they got outstandings as well. And you'll turn a blind eye to it because you're, a big fan of them, or you really respect what it is that they do. So you'll accept some from, those who you like, but you'll reject those who you don't like. So there's a lot of, hypocrites amongst us. And okay, cool, I get it, right? But I just don't understand how people are gonna sit over here and try to sit on high moral ground and attack people for simply paying their respects. Ric Flair was on TMZ crying over the loss of Hulk Hogan. Now, albeit they may not have been great friends, they've had their outstandings as well, but this is still a peer of his. Flair and Hogan were the biggest things in wrestling in the late 80s, very early 90s. People knew when you think professional wrestling, it's Hulk Hogan, it's Ric Flair. People was attacking this man for crying. They was laughing at this man for crying. Oh, yo, you should be happy that he's gone. What? Like, I put out a tweet saying I'd pay good money to see what Iron Sheik would have said.
We know what he would have said. You're all going. Yeah, I just don't pay it no mind. Like he said, there are people. I know one person that forever I'll be a fan of. Unfortunately, is Kanye West. And he's done a lot of problematic things that I hate, and that I feel like he's a harmful, troubled, just piece of crap human being. But I cannot forget what he's done for my life in terms of helping me get through the hardest times of my life, through death, through confusion, through suicide, a lot. So I know when he dies, I am getting off the internet that day because I don't want to see what people are going to say. There are going to be a lot of people that will probably be praising him, a lot of people that are saying good riddance. I don't want to see that, and I won't be able to deal with it myself because I'm still conflicted in my feelings towards him today. So, yeah, so that's the problem. That we all have biases, of course, but still, it's like he's still only telling one side of the story, but allow him to finish. God, yeah, see how I did that?
Today upon the passing of Hulk Hogan. Because again, like I said earlier, everybody's going to make their jokes. You could have yourself a good laugh, whatever the case is, right? But when you personally make it your mission to go and attack folks for paying their respects and, condolences, it's crazy to me. Like, you have active talent that were putting out tweets. I think Chelsea Green had to go and delete a tweet and explain herself.
That's crazy. But then again, fans are crazy. Cuckoo. Mind you, it was just not that long ago, Roxanne Perez was getting stalked. Not that long ago, that Sonya Deville getting stalked. Like, people, fans, the internet is crazy. People are crazy out here in these streets. Like, it's wild. But that's only telling one side of the story. Like, on the other end, you have people that are saying, I didn't care for him, whatever, and are writing paragraphs about how dare you, what he's done for this industry, da-da-da-da-da. Like, it's on both sides. You have people that are appreciating him and getting torn down for giving the flowers, and you have people that are saying, I don't care less about him, whatever, and you have people tearing them down for being like, I don't care. So I think it's two sides of the story. I'm not here to say who's right or wrong. You already know how I feel about it. But it is what it is. I was very gracious in my video that I did because I'm like, I don't feel the need to tear him down because I did it already while he was alive. there's no need to do it again. I did the video I needed to do, the Raw on Netflix debut when he came out and got booed. I got everything I needed to say off my chest then. I don't need to do it again. People know what's up. It is what it is. So, yeah, I think it's two sides of the story. But yeah, I don't think it's cool for people to be policing how people feel. No matter how you feel about it, just allow people to have their opinion. That's it. It's death. That's the weird thing. Weird thing to really try to police is how people feel about death and how they mourn. That's weird. Whether you don't like them or whether you do like them, that's weird. So, but it is what it is. Like, there's been a lot of great. There's been a lot of great jokes I got off during this past week. It's just been a lot of great jokes. That's all I'm saying. But I'm gonna leave it alone. Again, I'm leaving it where it is. But yeah, people have been moving crazy, but on both sides. It is what it is. But like, comment, subscribe, share the things of the things. Welcome to the high beach. There's Hayes Arcade, your hardcore casual fan. If you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. Suck it.